Shut up and sit down.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Rural Report. I'm your Rural 2IC, and this video we're going to title The Unexpected, How Prepared Are You? And what we're going to do in this one, I'm just going to do a quick little chat. We'll probably not have any graphics or anything up. I'm going to try and keep this very short and simple. But if you watched my video I posted probably not too long ago of my $50 Walmart challenge, that I was kind of interrupted in that, which I will remake that video. We will do a whole overnight and all that, so spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. But again today, I've actually had to stay home from work because I currently have a sick little one napping, and it's one of those ones that in the preparedness community, when you have a event, you have the prepper motto of you prepare for the worst and you hope for the best. And I don't know if people just repeat that line as just another slogan without actually giving any thought to it. But woke up this morning, didn't think anything of it. Boom, sick little one. Now it changes everything. And it's one of those ones that I want to make sure that I reiterate to you guys that anything and everything can possibly happen. As much as this channel is not really going to divulge into the fantasy prepping, unless we do some sort of, kind of comical preparedness video on an alien invasion or a zombie apocalypse or, I don't know, mutant cows or something like that. This is all going to be for new preppers, kind of a prepper 101, people that's just starting out and beginning. And so we're going to do very basics, and we're going to help guide people so they can get better prepared for the future. But with that being said, there's a lot of seasoned people out there, and I don't want to see some of the new people, which if you're new, welcome. I don't want to see the new people go through and kind of make those mistakes where you get into that, I've been doing this a while and I'm prepared for whatever, because I have been doing this for quite a long time, and I will tell you, I am not in the exact position that, I dream of being. I don't have 1,000 acres with a ton of livestock and crops and heavy equipment and all that. I make do with what I got. I do feel that I am a lot better prepared than most, but I am working on my way to get to where I want to be eventually. With that, there's a lot of things that can happen that are unexpected, and it doesn't have to be an asteroid, slamming into Earth. Just like this, I didn't expect to wake up and have, a small child sick. And that changes my entire day. And so you can have things of a car accident, it's not your fault. You can have, unrest pop up at any time, whether you're at work, store, school, whatnot. You can have injury, you slip and fall. You can have an unexpected illness to where, you go in for a routine doctor's appointment, and all of a sudden the test comes back to something that's very, life-changing and unexpected. And so just because something is a little less probable doesn't mean that it's not necessarily possible. And so to be able to prepare for things like that, so that way if you have something of a job loss, a car accident, a pop-up unrest or anything along those lines, you have contingency plans for that. And I encourage you to make plans. And once you have a plan, actually put your plan into motion. Do a dry run through your exercise, run through it by yourself, run through it with your friends, your family, your team, your mag, your tribe, what have you, and all this. But don't do the thing to where you go, well, if it happens, I'll deal with it. That's not what prepping's about. Prepping is to make sure that you are prepared for a situation. Will you be prepared for every situation in life? No, you will not. You can try your hardest, but I doubt you'll be prepared for absolutely anything. And that's why this is going to be a channel on the guide to basics. If you have things such as basic medical, to where you can build on your medical experience and get a little better and a little better, that helps you, that if there's an accident at work, if you drive by and there's a car accident, you're not going to go and probably, save somebody's life when you're just starting out. But at least you can go and try and do something. A lot of preparedness goes into your everyday life. And so you are preparing not only for yourself to survive, but to help and, those in your workplace, your school, even just perfect strangers at the store. You have a basic understanding of some things. You can at least know what to do, even if you aren't prepared medically for, a major event. If you have an elderly person in front of you that slips and falls, you can at least have an idea of to remain calm, point to somebody, call 911, go tend to that person of, are you okay? Are they conscious? Are they breathing? CPR is very basic. Minor stopping the bleed is basic. Things like that goes into real world things. And that's what I encourage. If nothing happens, if no apocalypse, no end of the world, no nuclear, no nothing, you were a better member of society and you were a better member of your family being prepared. And that's kind of what this is all about. You hope that nothing happens, but if it does, you have that plan. You have that cool, calm, and collective sort of state of mind that when this happens, everybody else freezes and freaks out, but you spring into action because you've done this before. You've rehearsed this. You have a plan. This up here, your mind, and the way that you can condition yourself, because this is a lot of knowledge and mental exercises, and to have the mental strength to endure, because you can go out and buy the absolute best gear. You can take a couple of training classes and whatnot, and you can be somewhat prepared. And then when something happens, you freeze. And you've got to make sure that you flex your mental muscle, so that way it's that repetition, so that way you spring into action. Make it to where it's a reflex. Something flies to you, the first thing you do is close your eyes a little bit, turn your head, you're protecting, put a hand up in front of your face. Your body does that naturally, so that way you're doing everything that you can to protect all your vital stuff. It needs to do that with a lot of things that happen, and unexpected things will happen throughout your school day, your work day, going shopping, even maybe just taking a walk around the block to walk the dog. And so in the crazy world that we live in, it's one of those ones that there's a lot of events that happen that people don't prepare for because they're so unexpected. But in hindsight, you kind of have to look at it and go, wait a second, that wasn't as unexpected. It was actually quite possible. To have an event to where you're walking the dog and somebody has some sort of health emergency and kind of crashes the car into a tree, you might be able to do something about that, even if it's just running over, turning the car off, staying with that person while dialing 911. That's something, versus to stand there and freeze and not know anything to do. that doesn't help anybody, and potentially could make things, you know, kind of worse. And so going through with all this, I just want to remind you guys to try and look at everything and see, you know, the probability of something like that happening versus you walking the dog and an asteroid coming down and hitting you. Probably one's more likely than the other. Chances of either one of them happening, probably very low. But the chances of you witnessing a car accident versus getting hit by an asteroid, I'd probably plan for the car accident. And it may not happen to anybody. And let's, fingers crossed, hope that that doesn't happen to anybody. But just a little mental exercise, a little thing to kind of get you guys thinking about everything. You know, with the weekend here and, you know, everything's kind of warming up, it's a really good time to sit down and pull out your plans, dust them off, go through them. Is there something that you missed? Is there something that you can add? If you guys have ideas of some of the things, maybe we can run through some scenarios or whatnot. Go ahead and drop it in the comments below, and we'll go from there. But we'll wrap this one up by saying, remain united, because we're all prepping in this together.